in these ribbons. But kibun de tanifa mikbet kapta alayu. If it's dirty and there's mud going to drip on them, then they wouldn't want to wear it. So therefore, they wouldn't be able to toivel with it either. And therefore, they wouldn't have to wear it on Shabbos if it was dirty, I guess. Tanan Hasan. Ve'elu chaytitzin ba'adam. The following list are things that for mikveh are a chatzitz on a person. Chutei tzemer, which is very parallel to our Mishnah about what you're not allowed to go out with in Shabbos. Ve'chutei pishta. V'haritzuei sebarashay abonis. The straps that young girls wear. Yehuda Omer, shel tzemer v'shel sar ein chaytitzin. If this band is made out of either wool, which is disputing what the Tanakama said a second ago, because the Tanakama said chutei tzemer is chaytitz, and the Yehuda said shel tzemer is not chaytitz. The shel sar, which the Tanakama does not comment on at all, ein chaytitzin, mipnei shamayim boin behen, because water can easily penetrate, because these things don't tighten well, and therefore they will always let water through. They would not be a chatzitza. Omer Rav Huna. Rav Huna said, where are we talking about these straps, these ribbons, these threads? Where are they wrapped around? Where all of these halachas that says they're chatzitza are if they're in the woman's hair, and that's when they'll be chatzitza. But if they're wrapped around her neck, for instance, it would not necessarily have the same halacha. So let's see. Maskef lo Reb Yosy, lemute mai. When Rav Huna said that this whole discussion here is only related to hair accessories, what is it not related to? If you're going to say that Rav Huna said that all these halachas of the chatzitzas only apply with these things that are wrapped around hair, but what if she has them wrapped around her neck as a necklace? Udamai, exactly which product was Rav Huna referring to exclude, to say that around your neck it's not a chatzitza? Which product? Is it all products don't have a problem around the neck, or specific products? Udamai. If you want to suggest that the Tanakhama said that tzemer is a chatzitza, and Rav Huna is saying that tzemer, if you have a strap of tzemer wrapped your hair, that's wrapping your hair, that would be chatzitza. But Rav Huna is saying if you had a yitzu of tzemer around your neck, that would not be a chatzitza. Frankly, more that doesn't make sense to say. Hashta rach, tzemer, which we considered soft, al gabe kosher, that wraps hair, which is a hard thing. The Gemara considers hair hard. Chaytitz, it does make a chatzitza, so a soft thing could make a chatzitza around a hard thing. Rach al gabe rach, if you have the same tzemer wrapped around your neck, and the skin of a person is considered soft, miboy, surely it should be a chatzitza. So how could Rav Huna suggest that this would not be a chatzitza? The ela lemute chute the chute pishtan. So then maybe what Rav Huna is not talking about tzemer, which is considered rach. He's referring to pishtan, which is considered kosher. For the Gemara, I have also a kavachaymer. Hashta kosher al gabi kosher chaytzitz. Pishtan around hair makes a chatzitza. Kosher al gabi rach meboy. Surely pishtan around the neck, which is soft skin, should surely be a chatzitza. So where did Reb Huna say that there's no chatzitza around the neck of a person? The Reb Yosef, the reason why Reb Huna says that something wrapped around the neck is not a chatzitza is levishein isha chenekes atzma. Women aren't looking to strangle themselves to death. Therefore, anything that they would wear around their neck, even though technically they could tighten it enough to make a chatzitza, but Reb Huna is saying a chiddush that women will never tighten something around their neck so much that it could be a chatzitza. So anything that she wears around her neck will be the level of comfort that she needs, the minimum level of comfort that she needs, will also guarantee that it's not tight enough to present a chatzitza. Eisvei Abai. So, Frekle Abai, are you telling me women aren't chaynik themselves? I'm going to show you otherwise. Habanis yoitzos v'chuten shabazneim. When we get our little babies, earrings, we want our little babies to have earrings right away. So, you're not going to buy them a $10,000 pair of diamond earrings. What they just do is they put in a little bullet, it's called, like a retainer, just to keep the hole there. So when they're old enough to have nice earrings, their hole is still there. So what the girls in the olden days used to do is they couldn't even afford those gold bullets. So they just put a thread through it, and the thread kept the hole open. So girls can go out with these threads because no one's going to show off threads. No one's going to take off a thread to show it off. It's nothing to be proud about. They can't go around with things that are wrapped around their neck. They were straps that they wrapped around their neck, and they were allowed to do that. And it's Rashi says they were not used as a tachshit. It's more like Chuten Shabbos, which was not a decoration, and they had it there for some function. Some people used it to hang a dicky. Does anybody know what a dicky is? I had to learn a lot about women's clothing. A dicky is a woman who buys a piece of clothing. Nowadays, a lot of things you buy are low cut, and women kind of walk around low cut. So a dicky is just a piece of cloth that covers their chest area that would be exposed by the low cut, and then it wraps around their neck. A string wraps around their neck to hold it into place. So choifkin could have been used to hold up a dicky. So, but whatever it was, it wasn't a tachshit. If you say a woman does not make something so tight, what is the problem with chavok and shebitzareim? The whole problem is she would take it off if she went to the mikveh. But if it's not going to be that tight, why is it that a woman can't go out with this thing around her neck? Omer Ravina, hacha b'ketola askinon. What we're talking about that is also, when we say it's also for it to go out with each chavokim, that's speaking about something called the ketola. It's the killer. It's called the killer piece of jewelry. What is it? Rashi has a couple of different shotim, but whenever she would want to hang something around her neck, she would wrap it with a cloth. Whenever she wanted to wear something she needed to suspend off her neck, she would wear a shmata around her neck. And women, this is my favorite. Women want to look like Yosy Simon. They want to exhibit a double chin. You see, there's one and there's two. I actually have a third and a fourth, but it doesn't come out good in the picture. So women would wear very tight cloths. They would wrap things around their neck very tight. It's called a ketola because they'll literally give their lives away to make themselves look pretty, and by tightening up this scarf around their neck, it would make them look like they had a double chin. And that was like the hottest look you can find. Like all of the women's magazines, they were full of these double chins because that was very exciting in those days. So therefore, that has to be so tight, and that could be a chatzitza. That would be a chatzitza. The Isha Cheneka says,
I believe in those days. Yes, I think in those days it was a simon that they were healthy. If someone who didn't have it, wasn't
right. People thought they were weak. That's right.
You're right.
That's right. Indeed. So really, I'm very good looking. I'm just a little bit past my time. If I could rewind the clock, I always tell people, I'm not overeating. I'm storing things away. I'm already prepared for Shavuos. I already had my cheesecake for Shavuos. I'm already eating now for Av. So it's not like I'm fat. I'm just I planned in advance. My meal plan.
Ahead of your time.
I got ahead of my times. Yeah. So by eating, I'm ahead of my times, and for my chin, I'm behind the times. But it should balance out somewhere along the way. Zog the Heilige Gemara weiter. Reb Yosef. I'm sorry, I skipped this. Yehuda Omer, shal tzemer v'shal sar ein chotzen b'pnei shamayim boim bahem. So Reb Yehuda, we know tzemer is a direct dispute to what the Tanakama said, because the Tanakama of the Brayso said that tzemer is a chatzitza. Sar, hair, the Tanakama did not address at all. But Reb Yehuda is commenting that tzemer and sar would not be a chatzitza because you cannot tie them tight and they'll never be able to be a chatzitza. And we also discussed that this is referring to hair accessories. Not, Reb Huna says it's not referring to something around your neck. Omer Reb Yosef, Omer Reb Yehuda, Omer Shmuel. Halacha Reb Yehuda b'chutei sar. The halacha would follow Reb Yehuda by chutei sar. So, frek the Gemara, the Rabbanan never commented about chutei sar. Omer le'abaye halacha mechlal de pligi. Are you suggesting that the Chachamim all hold that sar would be chatzitza, even though they didn't mention that at all? And if you're not, or you might say, of course, the Chachamim must argue by sar, because he loved the Shmeina mitanakama. The Ari b'chutei sar, had Reb Yehuda not heard from the Tanakama that they also agree that chutei sar is a chatzitza, iyunami lo havimari, he would not have had to dispute it. The reason why Reb Yehuda had to bring that up in his comment on the Tanakama is because he must have heard, just like he heard them say tzemer is a chatzitza, he must have heard them say that sar is also a chatzitza, and therefore he comments that tzemer and sar, I disagree with you, Rabbanan, and they're both not a chatzitza. Zakamar, who said? Maybe that's not what it is. Maybe the Chachamim agree. The Tanakama agrees that sar is not a chatzitza. And Yehuda is saying a kashem. What does that mean? V'dilma kashem ka amaru. Maybe he's doing a kashem, and that is ki heiche the moedisi libichut sar. You Tanakama are moeded to me that a hairband made out of hair would not be a chatzitza. So oiduli nami bechute tzemer. I believe, and you should agree with me, that tzemer is not different than hair. And just like you would agree that a headband made out of hair would not be a chatzitza, please agree with me that a headband made out of chute tzemer is also not a chatzitza. But of course, the chachamim argue. So it's not clear if what the chachamim hold by sar. Do they hold by sar that it's a chatzitza or not? Regardless, Abaya held halachos like Reb Yehuda that both sar and tzemer is not a chatzitza. Itmar, I'm sorry, I take that back. Reb Yehuda Mishmuel said halachos b'chutei sar. So they paskin like Reb Yehuda by sar. By tzemer they didn't paskin like Reb Yehuda. So by sar it would not be a chatzitza. By tzemer it would be a chatzitza. Itmar, Omer of Nachman Omer Shmuel, moedim chachamim Reb Yehuda b'chutei sar. The chachamim are moedim to Reb Yehuda that chutei sar would not be a chatzitza. So this is already black and white. That in fact that the Rabbanan agree that by chutei sar it's not a chatzitza, and then the way you have to learn Reb Yehuda is kashem karmalu. And he was just telling the chum, just like you're moeded by chutei sar that it's not a chatzitza, please be moeded as well by tzemer that it's not a chatzitza. Tanya nami hachi. We learned another brayso that says the same thing. Chutei tzemer choytetzin. Chutei tzemer are chatzitza. Chutei sar ain't choytetzin. And that's the Tanakama Shita. The Omer shel tzemer v'shel sar ein choytetzin. That's exactly what the Gemara did. Zok the Gemara Nuzach. Omer of Nachman bar Yitzchak. Masnisa nami deka. You can also prove from our Mishnah the same halacha. The Katani, it says in our Mishnah, Yoytze isha u'chutei sar. Now this is the next Mishnah. This is not our Mishnah. Right away, David Zolti asked, why aren't we talking? Why don't we start the parak with the things that a woman could go out with? And that's really how the Mishnah starts by Meh Ha'isha Yotzes. But our Gemara has told us that we're eventually going to get to that Mishnah. And the later Mishnah says, Yotzes isha b'chutei sar, bein mishalah, bein mishal chavata. Whether they're her own hair or their friend's hair. Mani, who is the author of this Mishnah? Ilema, Rabbi Yehuda, if it's Rabbi Yehuda, afilu chutei tzemer nami. Even chutei tzemer you'd be allowed to go out with. So this can't be Rabbi Yehuda. Elav Rabbanani. This quote must be the Rabbanan speaking. Ushmamina v'chutei sar loy pligi shmamina. It proves that the Chachamim hold all of the things on their list are a chatzitza, but if you had a hairband made out of hair, that would not be a chatzitza because it doesn't stick. It doesn't tighten. Cannot tighten that properly. It would never be a chatzitza. And never be allowed to wear it at Shabbos. Loy b'tetafos. My tetafos. What is this thing tetafos that the Mishnah says is allowed only if it's sewed down to the kavla? Omer Reb Yosef, it's a chamrasa de katifta. What's a chamrasa de katifta? Rashi says it's a certain type of knot that acts like similar to a kameya. It's a certain type of knot that when you wore it around her neck, when she wore this, it would protect her from any bad things. Rabbeinu Chananel has a pshat that women would like much better. Rabbeinu Chananel says it means a strand of pearls. A strand of pearls, women believed protected them from ayin hara. So Amar Abaye, if in fact these things are do help for problems, then to have a kameya mumcha, this history, it should be like the kameya of a mumcha, a kameya that we know works, and we know the Mishnah says you're allowed to do that. We learned it a couple of blot ago. By a behema, kameya mumcha doesn't work, but by a human, kameya mumcha works. So you should be allowed to carry it. So that's not what the tetafos could mean. Amar Rabbi Yehuda b'shmei Abaye, it's apuzainu. The definition of tetafos is apuzainu. Apuzainu, the most accurate taich of apuzainu is a yeshiva mark. It was that yeshiva mark that we're talking about in the Mishnah, meaning it looked like the tzitz, it wrapped around her forehead, tied around her head, and it was an adornment on her forehead. And some of the Mepharshim speak out, that's why it might be called tetafos, because that's right near where the tefillin shel rosh will typically be placed. Tanya nami hachi, yoytze isha b'svacha hamushavas. This svacha, this is their main kerchief. This is her main covering. A woman's allowed to go out with the svacha hamushavas. She's allowed to go out with even if it's jewelry, even if it's fancy. We don't have to worry that she's going to take it off. So she's allowed to go out with this even if it's adorned. Even if it's adorned. If you look at Rashi, Rashi says, and this is part of what I was talking about earlier. Shvachis kufya, it's this thing she covers her hair with. The shalfalei, if she takes it off, migli roisha, she's going to expose her head, and a woman's not going to uncover her hair in the street. So therefore, she's allowed to go out with this. Ubet tetafos, she would go with this tetafos. Ubet sarvitin hakvuin bo, and if you have a tetafos and sarvitim that are sewn down, that are connected to the safcha, meaning she won't be able to take these off to show to her friends unless she uncovers her hair, then she's allowed to wear them. Okay. Eze tetafos v'eze sarvitin. What are tetafos and what are sarvitin? So tomorrow, tetafos is hamukavos lo me'oizen lo'oizen. It's a metal plate that goes from ear all the way around the forehead, from ear to ear, and it's a jewelry type of thing. Sarvitin hamagiin la ad lechya. Sarvitin go from jaw to jaw, so that goes over the top of her head and down to her jaw. So one's a vertical hairband and one's like a horizontal hairband. Okay, so let me just see what Rashi says. Hamakevas is abadach mi oizen loizen. Hamagid lechya al roisha kerchasoi v'toila al yech mikan mikan. He covered the obdaton. That's fighting. So what I saw here was a diuk from the Chassam Sofer, but I don't see the exact nusach. But he's medayik from something from this Rashi. Rashi says over here, the reason why you don't have to worry about the shofar is the shofar on migdal roisha, her whole head will be uncovered, which is mashma that she only has a problem going in public. There's only a problem in public of uncovering her whole head. But if some of her hair sticks out, maybe that wouldn't be something that would be so bad. And that's why the Chassam Sofer is medayik from this Rashi and uses it as a snif lahatir if a woman had an illness where she couldn't completely cover her hair. She had to wear more like a netted type of tichel. And for some reason, she had to be able to go outside for her health. Using these different snif and lahatir, the Chassam Sofer was actually matir from the dik of Rashi that says the main problem that a woman doesn't want to do, because that's called a prutza, is taking it off completely. But vice versa, if it's partially covered, it would be good enough. And the Achronim speak about it, that most likely it was Omed Ruba al-Hor. It's probably the holes were the smaller portion. Most of it was fabric, and there was just holes that uncovered it, but that would have been enough to deal with her illness. Okay, Zok Tehillah Gemara Vayter. Very interesting halacha here. It's not halacha, it's seemingly a useless piece of information. Omer Avhuna, Aniyos, poor women, Oisan Oisan Shalminit Savonin. How would they make these tetafos or these sarfitin? They would make it out of colorful fabrics. Ashiris, wealthy women, Oisan Oisan Shal Kesef Shal Zav, they make it out of gold. Now, is this just a useless piece of information? Why is it important for us to know how rich people dressed and how poor people dressed? So because of this problem, the Ritva suggests that if a wealthy woman who normally would wear them of kesef and zav, and only that would be something that she would want to show off, if a wealthy woman wore a sarvit or a tetafos made out of minei tzavonin, even if it wasn't connected to her shafcha, it would be mutter. You know why? Because a wealthy woman would never show off to her friends a cheap item. If she had something beautiful of gold or silver, that's something that she might be tempted to show off. So the Ritva learns the reason why Rav Huna tells us what the habits and the clothing selection and the accessory selection of rich and poor women were, to tell us a halacha, to tell us a kula that a rich woman is allowed to go out with a tetafos. And a sarvit, if it's not made out of gold, if it's made out of minei tzavonin, there wouldn't be a problem at all, because there wouldn't be a chashash that she would take it off the show. The other Rishonim argue under Ritva, and they say absolutely not. It would be usher across the board. But that was Ritva's dik, and it's geschmack. Otherwise, why does Rav Huna need to tell us how rich women dress and how poor women dress?
The fear here is that it might fall off and you may come to carry it, right?
No, the fear is she might take it off to show off.
I'll
to her
take it off.
friends. So if it's gold, a rich woman would take it off to show to her friend. But if it's made out of fabric, a woman won't take it off to show to her friend because she's not. There's nothing to show off. For a poor
Maybe
woman,
she'll
that would be
take it
something to
off
show
so they won't see her with something cheap.
It's
It
funny.
makes it-
That's not a joke. We're going to learn on Omer Aleph. There's such a chashash because there were avodim that wore the star. They used to wear the yellow stars. I mean, I'm just thinking that they used to wear some type of thing around their neck that would identify them as an eved. And the chashash there was someone with an eved would take it off if he's walking in the street because if I want to socialize, why does everybody have to know what my real life is? Why can't I play Facebook and everyone lets you have a wonderful life? So they would take it off so that people wouldn't know they're an eved. So that's definitely a chashash that things that are cheap, women would take off because they don't want to be caught with it. So it's a joke, but it's very real actually.
All right,
But
so
a
this
rich
is
woman would never be seen in the street without her gold.
I hear it.
but this is all if it's not sewn into the net, the head net or whatever.
So if it's sewed to it, then
So
it
we're not
cannot be
gonna
separated, right? Because she can't take it off because then she has to uncover her hair.
Okay,
That's
but you
what
see,
that would do.
this is a case where you can't really tell if it's sewn or if it's not sewn, right?
Well, the
Remember
person
last-
wearing it can tell, and that's all they have to know. Right? Basically, if she has to take, if it's sewn, then she can't take it off because she's going to uncover her hair. And if it's not sewn, then she cannot take it off. Then she cannot wear it at all. So you're saying someone on the street won't know and think she's doing an isser.
Right.
So I guess they didn't ask her to that extent. It's bad enough they asked her to wear this because she might wear it outside and she might take it off, which is such a remote chash. They didn't take it even one step further that it looks like something that they didn't think, that they did not know.
Is this the Gemara where we learned, it was talking about hair pieces that even if it's somebody else's hair piece, so that's like a shaitel.
Yeah, the Gemara, the Mishnah later is going to discuss a shaitel.
Okay.
We didn't get up to that yet. The Leib Kavel, Omer B'Yamei, Kavel Zeh Ein Yidei Ma'u. I don't know what this is. Zot Gemara, Kavel DeAgudah. If it's Kavel DeAgudah is this thing that an eved wears. So Rashi says Choisam. It was some type of necklace that they wore. They would make it on the eved's beged. So it's like literally they used to make the Jews wear a yellow star. So they would make avodim wear something on their beged. L'simin ha'chacha shu eved, to identify him as a servant. And that's what the Mishnah means. Talking about a shivcha. So it doesn't say shivcha in the Mishnah. It just says Isha should not go out with a kavel. So the Gemara here, this kavel is referring to not any woman; it's referring to a shivcha, and the shivcha is not allowed to go out if she was makabel the mitzvah. She's not allowed to go out with this kavel de'avta. So kavel de'avta, if that's what it means, aval kibbeh shel tzemer shaperdami. But if it was just a tzemer hat, and this is a tzemer hat that Rashi says she would wear it under her shivcha. So this shivcha thing is the main hat that she used to cover her hair. And some woman underneath that would put another hat that was made out of tzemer, something like a scarf that was made out of wool that you keep under her hat. So if what we're saying you're not allowed to go out with is a kavel de'avda, then maybe a kibbutz shel tzemer would be allowed because we're not worried that she would take it off because then she's going to uncover her hair a little bit. Oidilma, or maybe what we're saying is not allowed is precisely the kibbutz shel tzemer. Tanam, and then the choshkin kavel de'avda, and then surely this thing that the eved wears, you're not going to be able to go out with. Now, we have not yet explained what's the problem with them going out with their Beis Yaakov uniform. Why would that be a problem if they just have a crest on their beged? We're going to soon see what the problem is. Omer Bavo, Mistavra, Commander Omar, kibbutz shel tzemer. It's more mistavra to say that not only can a shivcha not go out with a crest, but also a regular woman cannot go out with this hat that's under her shivcha. That's what I think is mistavra. And we actually have a brayso that supports this thought. It says, a woman's allowed to go out with a chvul and an istama to the chatzar. We'll worry about an istama, what that is momentarily. What the raya that the Gemara wants to bring is from Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Reb Shimon ben Elazar Omer, af bechvul l'shus harabim. She can even go out with a chvul into reshus harabim. Halal Omer Reb Shimon ben Elazar. And there's a rule that Reb Shimon ben Elazar said related to what type of headpieces a woman's allowed to walk out with. And this is the rule. Kol shulamatan l'sifra, anything that's underneath that hat that she covers her hair with, yoitzin boy you can go out with, because no one's ever going to remove that in public. But kol shulamatan l'sifra, any adornment that's worn on top of that hat, in yoitzin boy. So that seems to indicate very clearly that a woman can go out with a kippah shel tzemer. I'm sorry, because Reb Shimon ben Elazar says that kol shulamata min hashivcha yoitzin boy. So from Reb Shimon ben Elazar, who's commenting on the kful, he says you're allowed to go out with a kful, and a kful is something that you wear under your hat. So you see that kful is something that you wear under your hat, which is this kippah shel tzemer. Reb Shimon ben Elazar holds it's mutter, but our Tana holds that it's usher. Now the Gemara wants to my istama. We just discussed this other item that's an istama that the Brisa says she's allowed to go out with. What is an istama? Omer babo bizyuni. The definition of an istama is a bizyuni. My bizyuni. Omer Abaye, Omer Rav, kalya purche. There's two pshatim in what kalya purche means. There's one pshat that Rashi says is what I would call a spitzel. Does anybody know what a spitzel is?
Yes.
It's basically to make sure, well, the purpose of a spitzel is to make it look nice, to make it look like there's a little hair sticking out of the tichel, so they have a black strip. Very chassidish ladies, they wear a tichel, and then the very chassidish ladies wear a map, not even to wear a sheitel. Some women wear a sheitel with a hat on top of it, but the super chassidish ladies wear a tichel only, and then they have a little strip of black felt sticking out, so it should resemble maybe a little bit of hair, and they wear that spitzel. So what this Rashi says is, even after you wear a hat, a lady would braid her hair, put it up over her head, and wear a hat over it, but there would still be some strands here and there that come out. So before they put the hat on, they would wrap their head in a scarf, like a tichel type of thing, and then they put the hat on top of that, so this way every little hair would be covered. That's one pshat in Rashi. The other pshat is much more exciting. Women used to hang something in front of them. Kalas would hang something in front of them. It was some type of colorful set of fabric, and it chased away flies. I don't know exactly how it worked, because if a kala is sitting there by Kabbalah's pandam, she doesn't want to go like this the whole time because it's uncomfortable. She's a kala, so she wore an insect repellent so that she could sit covered it without constantly swatting flies that are in her way. So Zog to Gemara, Tana Rabbanan, Gimel Dvarim Nerim Istama. We learned three halachas regarding an istama. We learned Ein Ba Mishum Klaim. There's no Isser Klaim, and Rashi explains because the fabric was not woven, the fabric was pressed like felt, and felt is not considered a beged, lagabe the halach of Klaim. It's also not considered a beged, so it won't be matama ben negoim. Dafka has to be something that's woven. And and you can't go out with this beged to Rosh Hashanah like our Gemara just discussed. It's because again, there's a shal you might carry it. Reb Shimon said, "Af ein ba mishum ataris kalis." Even though there was a gzer before Korban Bayis when things were getting bad, that they had to tone down weddings and they had to tone down the fancy things that went on by chasnas, this thing is not one on that list. This thing was fully allowed and was not limited even b'shas Korban when Klal Yisrael was in the Eis Tzor. And I think that takes us to the end of the daf. I'm not sure what this blot should be titled. I don't think it would be appropriate to call it the koil patch. That probably would not be the right one. We can get into trouble. I still have kids to marry off. But let's think of a good.
Dan Babbe gegangen in a Spitzel.
Exactly.
Dan alte Babbe.
My mother told me that when my great grandmother was marrying off her son, the kala asked her, so the baba is makbid, mizal share in the cup. Is Babi makbid that I have to shave my head? So she held up her wrist and she said, "This is what your head's going to look like." Now I don't know if the wedding went through or if they canceled. That I don't know. Okay, so let's think of anybody can help us with a good title for today's tomorrow.
I did. I don't know. For those of you who read Tintin, I used a reference because when I just loading it up to YouTube, I used a reference. I don't know how many people read Tintin in this group. Anybody? No one?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Victor, yes. So I used the line, "Mercy, my jewels."
Oh, that was the lady who know how to sing so high.
Yes,
The bracelet
Beyonce
boat?
Castafori, right. And she was
Oh, I never-
constantly worried about her jewels. Where's
I
my
never knew how
jewel?
to pronounce her name.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Yes.
I think you borrowed the Tintins from our house. I think so.
Tomorrow's daf you can title "If the Bell Don't Ring."
Okay, very good.
If the bell don't ring.
Give us a little preview for tomorrow. We talked about sending out sneak previews to give people a chance.
Well,
to
tomorrow we're gonna discuss this emblem that an Eved wore and that they didn't like wearing it, and they actually used this Gemara to discuss if an Israeli soldier is allowed to wear his dog tag on Shabbos. If he's going out of the Erev, can an Israeli soldier wear a dog tag on Shabbos? Because technically it's carrying. It's not a tachshit. It's not a piece of jewelry or clothing. So there was actually an actual shaila if he's wearing a dog tag, and it has to do with wearing certain symbols that are important for them to wear.
So my chai
and we're
necklace.
going to be over the Gemaras about scissors that come apart.
What about my chai necklace? Is that okay?
It depends on how much hair you have on your chest. On a nice bed of rice, then it's not a problem. But nowadays it would be sitting on a bed of vice.
Very good.
What time tomorrow?
Well, Nate's is 6 o'clock. For those who are brave, I think 6:08 or some time. Do you want us at 7:20 regular time? Are you having another shear at 9? By the way.
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to ask if you want to use the room. I would ask you then just move because I'm giving Rabbi Reese till 9 to 9:40 to do his chabura.
This room?
Yeah, 761.
So can I go into this room and then open up? I can't make up a break because I'm not a host.
No, not here. This is.
I use 6713. Can I use 6713?
Yes.
Then I can be a host.
Yes.
Okay, so tomorrow the 9 o'clock share will be on 6713, and we'll go in 7613.
Yeah.
7613. And what we'll do is we'll go in quietly because when we log in at 9, Rabbi Reese will be in the middle of a shir. So we'll
Or he'll
go in
start.
silently.
He might start afterwards, but we're having ours here anyway, right?
Okay. Oh,
we're having
doing
it in
ours
the
tomorrow
morning.
at 7613.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we'll stay on it. So come to 7613, and then we'll move out to the coffee room.
Correct. What time is the shift starting tomorrow? For we say 7:20 for the early one.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
We're still live. We're still live recording. Huh?
Yeah, I know. I want people.